That does have to happen. And sometimes I think when I look through history that governments and people moved somewhat together in tandem. And oftentimes you look back and find that when the people become involved, there's also a leader or leaders that are lifted up at the same time that reflect those same desires. I think they tend to travel in tandem. Perhaps we can see that happen this year.
Sam, my big complaint is the welfare system in Pennsylvania. Right now, 39% of our total state budget goes for welfare. If you go on the government website, it's actually 11 point something billion out of 27 billion. It's right about 1/3. But there are a whole bunch of other line items in there that contribute to the welfare system. Now, my complaint is not with people like Peg Lutzig's friend, whose husband was a cop killed in the line of duty, and she's on welfare while she goes to school. My complaint is with the 15 families over in Snyder County who are third-generation welfare. Or the green card alien that I know of up in Reading, who gets a welfare check every month. Why is a citizen of another country getting a welfare check when he lives here and he's running a transmission shop out back? As governor, what can you do to cut down on our welfare system?
A couple of things I would move to do very, very quickly. One, part of the reduction in spending and bringing spending back in the line is that we're going to have to reduce spending. One of the big categories is welfare. That's where we spend the most. So can we reduce the spending in welfare without harming those who are truly needy? The answer is, yes, we can. How? One of the things is just begin to enforce the law. Right now, for instance, county services across the state have been instructed from the governor on down, go talk to any of them, they'll all tell you, they'll tell you what I'm telling you is true. Someone comes in right now and applies for some welfare service. It could be medical assistance, it could be food stamps, it could be a range of things. They right now do not confirm, in fact, that they are a U.S. citizen.
Doesn't make sense at all.
They do not confirm, in fact, that they have met residency requirements. They do not check to find out maybe that same person's collecting 3 counties over and also over here. And if they come in and they say, oh, by the way, I have 5 children, which I need things for as well, they don't confirm to make sure they perhaps don't have any children. We're spending billions on those who do not meet the measure of the law, which means they're lawbreakers, which means all of us who are paying the bill pay for those who don't even meet the letter, don't meet the law. That's a failure of the governor. We would impose and enforce the law. Our Auditor General just recently did a slice audit of the welfare department, just a slice of it, and walked away saying he found between $300 and $500 million worth of waste and fraud. We have great potential. Now, that's just on the saving of the money side. That's necessary to preserve all of us who are hard workers who pay the taxes, because if we don't, our money, our property is being wasted. But more than that, what good and what benefit is it for those who have broken the law, or for where it has become a second and a third generation recipient? Is it in their benefit? Has the welfare system become something that rather than a hand up, it's become a permanent hand out? We can change that. Yes, sir.
Yes, Sam, I just wanted to say that I've never come to hear you speak before. Tonight was the first time, and I've also not agreed with everything said by a politician when I have listened to him speak before. Tonight, I actually did. I can't think of anything that you said tonight that I disagreed with. I implore you to live by those standards if you are elected, because we've been let down so many times. But my question is, people that do get involved, go to our school board meetings and such. I know I've heard many times, just like you had said earlier, that the Governor Rendell said there's 85% of the budget can't be touched. Well, we hear the same thing. 90% of the school budget can't be touched. And one of the big things that we always hear about is teachers' pensions, which are skyrocketing. It's a very powerful union, and I'm wondering what can you do to save us from what's crumbling around us, and that's one real big issue.
The pension issue right now is one that if we, I'm trying to answer it quickly, then we all want to get out. The state has two big pension systems, state workers and state teachers fund. State teachers fund is about twice the size of the state workers fund. They're both right now way, way, way underfunded, which is why there's going to be a big spike coming in 2012. If that is not fixed somewhat, that cost increase was going to be passed along to local taxpayers. It'll be in the neighborhood between $500 and $2,000 per year per household. I don't hardly think that we can pay that. I've said as governor, I will not allow that to be passed along because our people cannot afford it. When we have so many of the majority of Pennsylvanians don't even have a pension. And others have worked for companies that have gone under and they've lost what they've had. It just doesn't seem the right thing that the taxpayer picks up the tab for all of that. There's also two myths that exist out there when it comes to public pensions. One is that they can't go bankrupt. I'm here to tell you they can go bankrupt. Look at California. They're going to end up getting nothing. Look at New Jersey, where those folks already retired are probably going to get reduced 50% of what they thought they were going to get. Oh yes, it can go bankrupt. The second myth is that the taxpayer can always pick up the tab. And I'm telling you, the taxpayer can't always pick up the tab because they can't afford to tax it right now. Therefore, what do? Well, you've got to step in, and you're going to have to make some changes in the pension. We're going to have to change the way the type of pension plan from a defined benefit to a defined contribution for new hires. We're going to have to take and lower the value or the richness of the pension for those who are not yet retired. We're going to have to do substantive things like that, and then the payment for that's going to have to be a matter of reprioritizing what's in the education budget. We have 3,000 pension plans across this Commonwealth right now. Look, every local municipality has their own pension plan, 3,000 of them. We probably ought to look at putting that together as a unified plan so we can save administrative costs which are throughout the system. There's a number of things that are going to have to be done, and I've laid those out and I talk about every place I go. These are the things we have to do. And as far as the teachers union is concerned, yeah, they're going to fight some of that, but at the end of the day, they know that the well's about dry too. So some of this is a preservation of what they have. So that's what we're going to have to do.
Sam, this gentleman kind of stole my thunder. I was going to ask about the teachers' unions also, but I want to ask since you just went over that. But what I wanted to ask, I'm sure all these people in this room want to see you as the next governor of Pennsylvania, okay? But I have a lot of conservative friends, and you're not well known even among conservatives. What are your chances on winning the primary against Tom Corbett? And it's only like a month away. I mean, you know, and the one other question I had is the school boards, they just keep raising taxes, our taxes. There's no limits. They can raise our taxes and just keep raising them, so they don't care whether you have money or not. They're just going to keep raising them. And that's all I have to say.
Well, those are two questions. I know some school boards that are refusing to raise taxes, and I applaud them for holding the line. As far as who will win this primary, that's up to you all. As we've crossed the state, yeah, I haven't run statewide before. My opponent has. But, you know, just because someone has run statewide before doesn't mean that people automatically assume that an attorney general makes a good governor. Frankly, in Pennsylvania, it's never happened that an attorney general has run for governor and won, because they're not an automatic, skill set is not the same. And there's significant differences between my opponent and me. And as we cross the state, And we are talking to people by the thousands. We're going directly to people. People communicate to